Well, hello, baseball fans, and welcome to this edition of the Kino Lamar Viking Baseball Show. I'm Bill Frawley, and with me, of course, head Viking baseball coach Paul Kino. Coach, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I have yet to see a fall ball game. We'll start talking about that some, but I've just got that baseball feeling going already and stuff, and I think this is going to get it more so.
Oh, it can't get here quick enough.
I hear you. Well, what I'd like to do is just talk a little bit for this show, and let's start with summer baseball. Um,
Okay.
what, how important is it that ball players get reps during summer somehow on some type of team?
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, just gathering at bats, the more experience you get, playing the game. When you get put in a when you're playing a game, there's so many different situations you can be put into as a player, and we can simulate a lot of them in practice, but just playing the game is extremely important. It's going to make you a better player. That's where you figure out whether all the practice, all the stuff that you're doing, it's got to translate to the game. So the more innings you get, I think the better chance you have of being a really good player.
And that makes sense. It's kind of that logical thing, but I think it's good for people to hear, and it's interesting to talk about. I had two sons that played ball 4 years, one more actively than the other, if you will. And I know the importance of tournament baseball, but getting reps in no matter what type of team or league it's in. Um, Now we're midway through fall. It's hard to believe we're probably at least halfway through the fall semester, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty close.
Pretty crazy. It's October already. So I know there's fall ball going on. I know that's not a UIL thing. That's not a Lamar High School thing. But tell us about what happens in fall ball, if you don't mind.
I mean, it's a lot of kids that play at Lamar. I mean, there's basically two Lamar teams. We have what we call a varsity and a JV. You know, um, I'd hope kids don't get hung up on that so much. To me, it's about getting playing time and playing as much as you can. Like I said, playing during the summer is very important. Playing in the fall allows our kids to play together. It's led by parents who coach it. They do a fantastic job. They give up their time to help our kids play together during the fall. And so, I think it's just a very important thing that we do. I wish we had three teams, but we only have two this year right now. But it's important for kids to play together, learn that camaraderie. Kids get reps, they're getting at bats. You don't want to carry 20 kids on a team because, a lot of guys, it's kind of defeats the purpose of them getting a lot of at bats because basically you're going to hit pretty much every kid that's on in the dugout. So, I know varsity wise, we hit like 15 or 16 one game. So, they're getting two to maybe three at bats. But they're moving around. They'll play short, they'll play first, they'll play different positions. So it's valuable to us. I mean, go
It's
ahead.
pretty. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's very valuable to us.
Yeah.
I get to watch him play. Coach Rabinskis has been out there. He's been watching him play. So we get to see what things that they need to work on, and we can address those in class.
Yeah. And so I know, like, quote, the players that are either likely to be on varsity or been in the Lamar program a few years now, they may be somewhat set in positions, but how important is it for the younger guys, and maybe you tell us the older guys too, to try different positions and find out how many different spots they're able to play at or be called on for?
Oh, you've heard me say it. I'm going to play the best nine.
Yeah.
I don't care what grade you are. If you're one of the best nine baseball players in the program, you're going to be on the varsity and you're going to start. So a lot of times it could be a middle infielder who's a sophomore, but I've got two seniors or two upperclassmen that are ahead of them and they're, just a little bit better player and they're middle infielders. So, but if you're one of the best nine, you may go play third base or you might go play the outfield, or if you're tall, you might play first base as a sophomore.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's very valuable. I mean, to be able to go play different places and get some experience in it.
Yeah, and that's what I've kind of seen, observed also years of being involved in the Lamar program with you and stuff, and then my sons and so on, and David able to play a couple of years after high school. And that was valuable because they moved him around he was a catcher, and a good one, but they moved him around. He played some second base, some short, some right field, center field, and it was very healthy and very opportunistic for him, for a coach at the next level to be able to say, oh, wow, I can put you here or here.
Oh
Okay. And
yeah,
then, of
most
course,
definitely.
need to
It
be able
opens
to
up
swing the, go ahead.
it opens up more doors for you
Definitely
to have a chance
so.
to play. You know, if you're kind of pigeonholed into one position, you know, if you're not that guy that year, you know, but if you can go play another position, it kind of opens up some doors for you.
Doubles or triples or whatever your opportunities. And
Yes.
of course, when you talk about playing the best nine, having a good bat, you got to be able to make
Oh
contact and
yeah.
get on base.
That's always been our philosophy. You know, if you can hit, you're going to find a way into the lineup. You know, hit and make the routine play. So if you can do
Yeah.
those things, we'll be all right.
Um, Talk to us a little bit, if you don't mind, about like there's batting average and then there's on base percentage. And some guys are able to take a walk or figure out how to, work it count. Some guys seem to have a magnet and they get hit by a lot.
Oh yeah.
Some guys are able to bunt their way on, let alone do a sacrifice bunt. How important is it, and how many guys do you need that can just find their way on base?
Oh, I mean, that's huge. That's what we look for. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter to us how you get on. It's just how you get on, is that you get on. You know, we want guys who, you know, I was talking to the guys the other day, you know, about what good hitters do. And good hitters barrel up balls. Being a good hitter is about hitting the baseball hard. I mean, you're going to hit the baseball hard and you're going to drive it right at somebody and get out. But if you consistently hit the baseball hard, it's going to find holes. So we want to barrel the ball up. We want to hit the ball hard. But you're exactly right. I don't care if it's a drag bunt. You know, we talk to you know my philosophy. I mean, I talk to kids that can run, and I want them to learn how to drag bunt. We work on drag bunting, and I know it's not manly. You know, they don't think it's very manly, but you know, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care. Just get to first base. And if we have some team speed, it's going to be a double because you're going to steal second base. And, you know, then, you know, it's the more we can get on, the more the pitcher has to throw pitches, you know, the quicker we get him out of the game, you know. So, I mean, it's huge that, you know, I don't care, we've talked about it, you know, as a program before, but you know, if you're down in the count, and I've had some players do it that, you know, 0-2, 1-2, they crowd the plate, something gets left in, they wear it, and they go down to first base. You know, I'm never going to tell a kid to get hit, but I mean, I do
Right.
love that attitude of, you know, they're going to take it and go down to first base, and they understand the game, and they understand that they were very defensive at that time, being 0-2, 1-2, you know, and you know, they're going to make it tough on a pitcher. And that's what I look for. I want kids that are going to make it really tough on a pitcher.
I find it interesting. I was laughing a little bit, not at you, but with what you're saying about how, oh, yeah, someone might not think it's manly to get on with a walk or a drag bunt or take a hit by pitch or whatever it is. But, at the end of the game, you look at the scoreboard, if there's basically a W up there for your team,
It's all that
I'll
matters.
say it this way, ain't nobody going to come ask, how'd y'all get on base? Oh, you
Mm-mm.
scored more runs than the other team. Nice. You right?
Exactly. It's about winning a
Okay.
baseball game. So, I've had some kids in the past that, you know, Taylor Jockers was one. Man, he had probably had double digit mean balls. I mean, like you said, he was a magnet. He'd wear it. I mean, anything left inside, he'd turn into it. And, you know, he'd go down to first base. You know, we've had several like that. Cooper Bernard was like that.
Oh, yeah.
They're tough baseball players. And I just love tough baseball players that understand the game. And, you know, we're talking to our kids about being tough outs and, you know, understanding the two strike approach and what we're looking to do and, you know, what we need to do to be successful. And we had a really great scrimmage Friday. We inter squad on Fridays. And
Okay.
you know, kids didn't like it at first because it was a two strike approach and we're hitting off the machine. So basically you got one swing. So I mean, you know,
But it keeps things going.
if you keep fouling pitches off, you're in there, obviously.
Right.
But it's about, hey, you got two strikes right now. You need to shorten up. You need to shorten your swing down. You need to choke up. You need to widen out a little bit. When about putting balls in play. And at first they didn't like it. And I had to call them up and, you know, they're, oh, this is stupid. This is dumb. And I was like, hey, this is what we're working on today. And this is very important. And, you know, they did a much better job. All of a sudden, swings started getting shorter. All of a sudden, they started putting balls in play more. It started hitting baseballs hard too. Um, so it was very rewarding to see that as a coach that they started buying into, and then they started having success with it. And I was like, guys, we know what we're talking about. We just need to get you guys to buy in, and
Yeah.
and look at the success you started having when you started doing the things we started asking you to do. And so hopefully, it continues. And we won't always do two strikes on Fridays, but it was something that we wanted to emphasize because in the fall we were striking out, quite a bit in the fall. And I think we weren't going to the plate with an approach. And we talked to them about that, have an approach going to the plate. This is high school baseball. One, you need to pay attention when you're in the dugout, not just, shoot the bull with your buddies, but you need to pay
Hmm.
attention to the pitcher. What's he throwing? What's he not throwing for a strike? If it's not throwing his breaking ball for a strike, I'm going to take everything with spin until I got two strikes. I'm going to hunt the fastball, which is what we teach anyways. Is hunt the fastball. Get your timing on deck so that when you step into the box, that you're not taking the first pitch fastball because you're trying to get your timing down. That should have already been taken care of when you're on deck. Be ready to hit the first fastball you see. I mean, be aggressive. That's what we're talking about. Be aggressive. I've said it before a lot of times. Aggressive people win. And I want our teams to be aggressive. Are we going to make some mistakes because we're aggressive? Yeah, we are. But as you learn how to play the game at the higher level, those mistakes will become less and less. You won't chase the high fastball as much. You'll get more disciplined. But I would rather be aggressive than non-aggressive.
And I love hearing that. We've talked about that before, and I know that's your nature as a coach and your staff and the players. Some of them eventually, some of them been there. They buy into it. When you come out aggressive, you can set a stance. You might get 2 or 3 runs in that first inning or 2 innings, and when you can score early because you played aggressively, I mean that's at the plate, but that's also charging ground balls. That's also, you know, 2 steps or whatever back on a fly ball and then move forward if you need to.
Yeah.
There's a variety of ways to play aggressively in there.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, aggressive on the base pass, running, stealing. Like you said, take your walk and go down and steal second base if we got some speed. I mean, we were lucky last year that we had the last 2 years we've had a lot of team speed and we've been able to steal a lot of bases. And I just believe in being aggressive. I'm going to get some guys thrown out on the base paths, and I'm going to look at them and say, hey guys, I'm going to tell them I tell them before the start of the season, I'm going to get some guys thrown out. You know, I'm going to be aggressive. I want you to play aggressive. And the last few years we've played really aggressive and it's paid off. And there's something to being said about, I've had hitters before that were really good with two strikes and they were very patient. And there's something to be said about that. I just don't want a team full of that. I don't want to, some guys
Yeah.
handle it really well, but some guys, that first fastball might be the best pitch you see at your at bat. And you need to be ready to go, especially when you're facing some of the better pitchers, a really outstanding pitcher. That's probably you want to be more aggressive, not less aggressive.
Yeah, and like you said, you're going to end up getting some guys thrown out on the bases. Obviously, not on purpose. I mean, everyone
No.
knows that, but that's how you find limits, and that's getting guys out of their comfort zone. Because I've seen it. There's guys that they want to take 2 steps as a lead, and y'all are telling them, guys, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and they're
Yeah.
like, but I can't get. I can tell they're thinking I can't get back or whatever. And maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they and you learn their limits. And again, it's about them getting out of their comfort zone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right.
Gotcha. Well, you mentioned Coach Rabinskis' name, and I said
Mhm.
that correctly, did I?
Yes, you did.
Okay. He's new on the baseball staff.
Yes.
Where does he come from? What kind of a background? Tell us a little bit
Came
if you
from
don't mind.
Burleson. He was a head coach at Western Hills. He was at Burleson last year. Very excited about him. I mean, really good coach. We speak the same language hitting wise. So, I kind of turned hitting over to him. Not, I mean, it will all the cages are his. I said, you run the drills you want to run. We speak the same language. We teach the same things. And it's kind of nice because, I've been at Lamar 24 years, the head coach. This is my 21st year. And sometimes kids get tired of hearing the same thing from the same person. So if they can hear the same thing, maybe in a different way or hear it from a different voice, maybe it clicks in a little bit more. Whatever it takes to make us better, I'm all for it. Like I said, he's a great coach. I trust him. So I'm very excited to have him on staff. Um, JVs play on Wednesdays, doubleheaders. He wants to be in the dugout on the varsity level on Tuesdays and Fridays, which excites me to no end because now I've got a coach in there that can talk to our hitters and go over and he'll chart their at bats and how they've been throwing him, our hitters, and he'll go over those at bats with them. And he'll be able to basically, we're going to have a hitting coach in the dugout because it's hard for me to do from the third base dugout. And So we're going to have another great mind in the dugout. And I'm not saying I'm a great mind by any means. I'm talking about coaching.
You are.
And we're going to have another really good mind in the dugout, helping our players out, helping them, giving them a really good chance to be successful.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. And that's always fun to get some new faces in to join the existing great minds, plural, that are
Well,
already there.
I'm
No,
not. That's
I
not
know
me. That's not me. I
you're
just sit on
too
the
humble
bucket.
to say that,
I
but
just sit on the bucket.
no, no, yeah, that's right. All right, so during baseball class and
Yeah.
what you're seeing in fall ball and stuff with the incoming freshmen, and we've talked about this before every year, but you're now seeing guys come in from two different schools, multiple backgrounds of North Arlington Little League, Select, Travel Club, whatever you want to call all these things. What kind of things are you seeing in these upcoming freshman players that are new to Lamar?
I'm thinking that we're gonna have a pretty deep class. Um, I think they have we have a lot of kids that have a chance to be good high school baseball players, and maybe some that play in college. Um, but that's what you're shooting for. I mean, probably said it before. Uh, I think like 7% of kids go on and play that across America go on and play college
Right.
baseball, and it might increase because they've increased scholarships. Because probably a little bit was, you could go play, but you couldn't afford to pay for school, so and play ball at the same time because you had to work or whatever.
And you get
So
a fractional baseball scholarship. Yeah.
yeah, so with them up in scholarships, it might help out. Maybe that percentage will go up, but still, it's
Okay.
a very small percentage of all the kids that play in high school that go play in college. So, you know, being a good high school baseball player is a good thing. And I think we have a lot of kids that have a chance to be a really good high school baseball player. And like I said, some of them may have a chance to go play on in college. But so that excites me. I think it's going to be a deep class.
Good.
Uh, so that makes me feel really good. Um, overall, I think baseball class is great because one, we get to learn our kids. Two, we get to work them out. We get to address things that we see during fall ball. Um, you know, Basically how we do it is Coach Urbanskis is in there. Really, Coach Urbanskis does it on his conference. He comes down there on his conference.
Wow.
So I mean, he loves the
He's
game.
into it.
Yeah, he loves the game of baseball. Um,
Nice.
so he comes down there and basically he's the outfield coach and he's the hitting coach. Obviously, I'm going to be out on the field with the varsity during practice during the season, and he'll take care of the cages and different things. So it really excites me. But so what's going to happen is right now what we're doing is we lift 4 days a week. Our lift takes us about Monday through Thursday. We lift. Our lift takes us about 30 minutes. Then we bust our tail ends down to the baseball field. And one day I'll take the infielders and I'll put them through skills, and the outfielders will be in the cages with Coach Urbanskis. And then the next day, Coach Urbanskis takes the outfielders and he works them skills, and I go in the cages with the infielders and the catchers. So, we're getting really good workouts in. I feel really good about where we're at right now. Uh, Fall baseball, watching them, I'm excited about it. We're making some silly mistakes, but again, it's fall baseball. We're not in the dugout with them, and nothing against the dads out in there with them.
Right.
They do a fabulous job, but we're not in there with them. So, you know, I'd like to think that, we'll make a little bit of a difference being in the dugout with them. But, excited about what I'm seeing. A lot of excitement.
Good. That's fun. That's exciting stuff to be looking forward to the
Oh, most
spring and
definitely.
baseball season, and it'll be here before we know it. Because this time of year, I'm thinking about, yeah, I need to start getting some new music, some new clips, whatever. Oh, it's October, it'll come. That's November, and all of a sudden, oh, it's December. I better get on it, and then it's January, and tryouts happen, and
Yep.
scrimmages start before long, and all that. So it really happens. Um, one question I've got that I think is important, you've talked about this before at times, they are student athletes. And
Yes.
how do y'all emphasize the classroom and academics? What do you as coaches,
Well, we have study hall.
emphasize?
We have study hall that we have to do. But we talk to them about, you're a student athlete. Even if you want to go play in college and you have the ability to play in college, the thing that's going to keep you from possibly going in college is your grades. So, this may be fair or unfair to say, but I've always said it. If you can't take care of your grades, be a student. Don't be a
Yeah.
student athlete. You know, grades are more important than being an athlete. I mean, trust me, I don't want to lose any baseball players, but you know, they need to graduate from high school. They need to get their classwork done, and do well in their classes.
And that
So I
doesn't
mean,
sound bad at all, by the way.
no, I mean, so we really emphasize being a good student, trying to be a good person. You know, I truly believe that if kids go into the classroom and they really try and they treat their teacher with respect, you know, they're not going to fail. I mean, they're
Mhm.
going to do their work, they're going to turn it in. You know, if they're close, because maybe they do struggle in class, I don't know many teachers that will fail you or fail a kid that shows up every single day, turns in his work, and is respectful. So we want them to be good kids. I mean, that's part of what we're trying to do. You know, we want to raise good people. I mean, and I'm not their parent, but I do feel like I have a part in helping raise them a little bit. And
Big time.
I think
Yeah,
sports teaches a lot of great things.
it does. And coach, I've mentioned this to you before, but when you talk about that respect part of it, aspect of it, man, y'all do a great job with teaching these guys. I know some are going to take it more naturally than others or whatever, but I've seen the baseball players on the field. I might be watching tryouts. I might be up in the booth doing something. They come up to help. I might see them at grocery store, wherever. And so many of them that I see, in fact, I can't think of the ones that aren't, but they're very polite. They're very respectful. So y'all are teaching them a lot of things for the field, but it's obviously life
Well,
lessons as
you know, I
well.
think it comes from home too. I mean, obviously it comes from home first. And you know, I've said it before and you know, I I'm biased, but I think I coach the best kids at Lamar High School. And I truly believe that. And you know, I feel very fortunate too.
Well, it's great stuff. It is a team effort. It's coaches, it's teachers, it's parents, it's other influential adults in different ways also. So that's really cool.
Oh, most
Um,
definitely.
I know Booster Club has had a couple of meetings. I haven't been able to attend one yet. I've been out of town, but they're already getting fired up. Going back to that whole thing of, oh, it's only October, but they're already doing things. They're working on getting more banner sales for the outfield walls. Everything they can do to raise funds for the booster for the baseball program. And man, it seems like it just keeps almost getting better each time. The people that lead those efforts hand off to the next, person or people. um, it's kind of over redundant in
Well,
some ways, but
I've said it so many times. And you're right.
please,
It's
yeah.
kind of redundant, but I think I have the best booster club in the state of Texas, maybe in the country. Uh, you know, great people. They're going out there. They bust their tail ends for our kids in our baseball program. Um, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, they're incredible people.
And coach, this is so wild when you say I don't know how they do it. I don't either sometimes because I know some of the big names in the booster club, and if I start calling them out, I'll leave some out. But I'm handing off the internet tower to be able to have it for Tuesday nights on fall ball or whatever for the
Mhm.
concession stand. They're handing off. I'm meeting a parent somewhere. They're about to go to a dinner for Girl Scouts meeting. They're also involved in this other
Oh
program of
yeah.
sports. I mean, they are incredibly gifted and they serve. And I'll just throw this out there as a kind of a heads up to all the parents, especially freshman parents that might be getting involved in the baseball program. Come get involved. The more people that get involved, the less each person has to do.
Oh, exactly. And probably the concession stand is the best place to watch a baseball game.
Oh yeah, and they have fun in there.
I know.
It's a, it's a big time. Well, Coach, anything else you want to share with us before we close off? And we'll do this again this fall before the season gets
Oh,
started. And
I love talking to you. I love talking baseball, and I love talking about Lamar baseball. So yeah, we need to do this again. Do it. I don't care if we do it weekly. That's awesome. Um,
even in the off season, yeah.
exactly. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, I really can't think of anything. I'm excited. I'm ready to get going. I know it's only middle of October, or really early October, but I mean, like you said, it's right around the corner, and it'll be here before we know it. And I'm just excited about our kids. I'm excited about our upcoming season. Uh, I just can't wait to get going.
Excellent. Well, man, I appreciate you making time for this, and I look forward to let's do this again soon. And man, appreciate everyone's involvement in the Booster Club and everything else. So until next time, I'm Bill Frawley with head baseball coach Paul Kino saying VFND.
Bye, everybody.